Welcome to the Everything Podcast, and in this episode, I'm going to be recapping the Eighth Doctor Adventures, Time War Uncharted 3 Branches. I'm recording this episode on the 13th of May 2026, I think. Time War Uncharted Branches was released, I think, exactly a week ago, so I've not done too bad. Bear in mind, it was 4 hours of audio to listen to, but I did listen to 3 of them in the space of one day. And actually, I didn't listen. I listened to the first episode of the previous set, but none of the rest. Can't quite remember why. And I just didn't get around to listen to it, so I didn't know if I'd get lost. But yeah, back to the episode. I'll talk about that in my thoughts towards the end of the episode. But we're going to start off with what we know about the episodes. Then I'm going to show the trailer, and I'll let you know my thoughts, which obviously will contain spoilers. So what do we know about the official Time War Uncharted 3 Branches? So it was released on the 6th of May 2026 and had we have a synopsis for the entire set. Searching for the missing cast, the Doctor and great-grandson Alex attempt to cross from one end of an unfamiliar universe to the other. Along the way, they meet this reality's version of their friend, the buccaneering Cassie, who has a destiny of her own. Charting the Uncharted, they will discover what became of the Daleks in this universe, and that someone else has come looking for them. Susan. We start off with The Only Girl in the World, written by John Dorney. Searching for Cass, the Doctor and Alex find themselves on board an odd slave spaceship with a version of their friend from the Uncharted universe, the swashbuckling and dangerous Cassie. Cassie is seeking revenge for the destruction of her home world, believing her destiny is to stop Mr. Khan, the ruthless killer who obliterated it. But if that is her destiny, why is it so hard to fulfill? We then have False Dawn, written by Alison Winter. A galactic quarantine order has the Doctor investigating an invasive species that is rapidly spreading across the Uncharted universe and infiltrating multiple dimensions. As the walls between worlds weaken, even the TARDIS struggles with keeping everything on the inside. We then have The Council of Susan, written by Tim Foley. Looking for a way through a dangerous barrier, the Doctor and his friends stumble upon an unusual organisation. The Council of Susan is stationed by a wormhole, and they know all about the mysterious time traveller known as Grandfather. Are the Doctor and Alex due for a family reunion, or will a darker presence try its best to sever all family ties? We then finish off the set with All Over, written by Patrick O'Connor. Out on the ice lies an empty blue box. Luckily, there's someone out here who can drag it to safety. That's what friends are for. After all, in a run-down house at the edge of the Uncharted, someone will face a destiny. It's time for myths to be exposed and everything to end. Time War Uncharted Branches was recorded between the 15th and the 18th of December 2025, and we have a few quotes. Producer and script editor Matt Fitton said the Doctor and Alex unite in a quest to find their friend at the far end of an unknown yet oddly familiar universe. Along the way, they meet the Uncharted version of Cass, the buccaneering Cassie, who has a quest of her own. This TARDIS crew will also encounter old enemies as the Daleks appear for the first time in Uncharted, although they're not quite what the Doctor is expecting. There was another surprise too with a family reunion, as Carol Ann Ford returns alongside Paul and Sonny McGann for the first time since 2011. It was wonderful to see these generations of the Doctor's family in studio together and to hear their interactions. It's going to be emotional. Daphne Ashbrook said it was wonderful to be working with Paul again. The script is beautifully written, and there was so much to play a villain to his Doctor. It does make me long for the days when I can be his friend. No pun intended. 30 years it's been since we shot the Doctor Who movie. I've recently watched it for the first time in many years, and I couldn't believe how young we all were. Paul's a fabulous actor, and he loves doing these audio dramas. His talent and the script's Big Finish right for him is a match, and it's kept his character going. He's been able to experience much of what other Doctors got to experience on TV. What a gift, and it's wonderful to be a part of that. And the Doctor reuniting with his granddaughter. Paul McGann said, I can remember as a child watching Susan in the first Bill Hartnell stories. The idea that the Doctor has a family was a big deal, and you could travel with your granddad and have adventures, so it's a privilege to have her back. The Doctor's this fugitive figure who, in a sense, can't go home, but nevertheless, there's a family there. It makes it more poignant, but it's not all happy families, Sonny McGann described. When we find the Doctor's great-grandson, there's a lot that's yet to be spoken between the Doctor and Alex. There's a sense, anytime they're in each other's presence, that Alex feels that shadow over him. In their recent adventures, that tension's been building more and more and more, and Emma Campbell-Jones described Cassie, the new version of her companion Cass. Cassie is quite a hardened version of Cass. She's a ferocious heroine, a swashbuckling pirate queen who slashes first, asks questions later. She's a touch unreasonable, a touch gung-ho, but her heart's in the right place. Time War Uncharted Branches includes Paul McGann as the Eighth Doctor, Emma Campbell-Jones as Cassie and Cass Famassi, Sonny McGann as Alex Campbell, Carol Ann Ford as Susan, as well as Daphne Ashbrook as Hieronyma Friend, and Nicholas Briggs as the Daleks. That's kind of the main cast. Which kind of is all on the cover anyway, apart from Daphne Ashbrook and Nicholas Briggs. The producer is Matt Fitton, the script editors are Matt Fitton and Tim Foley. The sound design was done by Toby Hedrick Robinson, Richard Fox at Fox Theatre Studios, David Drewcroft and Benji Clifford. The writers were John Dorney, Alison Winter, Patrick O'Connor and Tim Foley. The cover art was done by Rafe Rulebank. The director was Ken Bentley. The executive producers were Nicholas Briggs and Jason Haig-Gallery. The music was done by Howard Carter. The senior producer was John Ainsworth. This set has a total runtime of nearly 296 minutes, so nearly 5 hours long. And before I spoil the events of Time War Uncharted Branches, here's the trailer.
Once upon a time. Once upon many times, I suppose. There was a young girl who travelled with her grandfather.
From Big Finish Productions, The Eighth Doctor Adventures, Time War, Uncharted, Branches.
We're at the beginning of the Uncharted universe, and we need to find our way to the end. Is that how it works?
I don't know. Not going to lie, I'm working things out as I go along. Fun, isn't it? And then, one day, a stranger arrives. An enigmatic traveler in time and space invaded Carl's life. A charismatic, buccaneering adventurer, righting wrongs and saving the oppressed.
Hello, Cassie.
Hello, Carl. It's time to end this.
Cassie, the sector you want to explore has been infiltrated by potentially hostile foes.
It's a mystery.
It's an emergency.
It's a shrubbery.
Alex,
A storm is arising. Rough winds may shake things up a little, my darling folks. But don't you worry. It's a way of things.
You're Susan. Yes. But not their Susan.
not ours, Susan, no.
But if you're looking for Susans, we've got plenty. Follow me.
Focus, Doctor. You need to be thinking because your reality is shrinking.
Someone put you here.
You put me here
I did.
to help you figure this out.
You hear that?
Someone's in pain.
I think that someone is me. Big Finish.
That was the trailer for Time War Uncharted 3 Branches. Now, as I do with all my Big Finish recaps, I'm going to talk about each episode individually. So we start off with The Only Girl in the World by John Dorney, which is the most timey-wimey episode of the set. And we've got Paul McGann's Doctor, the Eighth Doctor, kind of narrating this episode, introducing us to Cassie and telling things in a very strange order, and it goes up, down, left, right, go backwards and forwards in time. It's quite hard to keep up, but it was a very nice start. As I mentioned earlier in the episode, that because I didn't finish the previous set, I didn't know if I would get lost. And there wasn't a previously recap like there is on Dark Gallifrey or whatever, but I was, just looking for Cass. They found another Cass. Cassie, played by the same actress, Emma Campbell-Jones, the Uncharted version of Cass. And then we learn this episode also features the Daleks as well, so it's interesting what the Uncharted universe version of the Daleks are, because they're a little bit different, and just mention of Khaleds as well, and kind of it is kind of this set with the appearance of Caroline Ford as Susan later on in the box set, that kind of it is more interest, kind of more going back to the very early days of Doctor Who, with the Daleks and Susan and all of that stuff. And then we move on to False Dawn, written by Alison Winter, which is where the Doctor, Alex and Cassie have to face off against plants, basically. That's what happens with this one, which I can't actually remember much about, because I'd kind of, I remember episode 1 distinctly because I kind of listened to that in a day on its own, and then episode 2 was the first, because I was like, I want to get this finished, because because I try not to battle on too many and end up with just covering Big Finish, and the way it's worked is kind of I'm going in between the two at the moment, so that's good. But yeah, about plants and kind of the Doctor and Alex, we see a bit of that tension that Sonny McGann was talking about in the backstage bit. And then we move on to episode 3, The Council of Susan, where we kind of, there's loads of Susan, so there seems to be like this cult of sorts, or temple to Susan, and to Susan's, and Susan leaves a message warning the other Susans about the Doctor. It turns out that the warning at the end of the message was cut out so that no one could hear it. And it's basically too late, and then there's a corrupt member of the Council of Susan that has kind of made it visible, and it's about to be destroyed, and all of this stuff, and thankfully the Doctor, Alex and Cassie, and they're arrested and held captive throughout this episode, but they managed to escape and kind of save the day. Then we move on to the finale, All Over by Patrick O'Connor, which features Daphne Ashbrook as Hieronyma Friend. Now, Hieronyma Friend has been taking on some of the Eighth Doctor's companions. So I think we had the actors, not the characters. We've had Hattie Morahan, previously Conrad Westmus. I don't know who did it last time because I didn't listen to that set. Maybe Hieronyma Friend didn't turn up in it. Who knows? But this time it's Daphne Ashbrook, the first companion of the Eighth Doctor. So yeah. Yeah, and it ends. There's a mid-credit scene as well, which is kind of teases up the next set, which I will get to in a minute. I'll actually play a clip from the interviews because they'll talk about it better than I will. And then, yeah, it was a really good finale, and it kind of the Destiny. It's talking about Cassie's and the sword and kind of it. Yeah, and Hieronyma Friend tries to convince Alex and the Doctor that it is that they are good, and they poison them and all this stuff for the right reasons, and it's the Doctor asked them to do it and all of this stuff. So yeah, it teases up Time War Uncharted 4, which I'm going to let the crew of Time War Uncharted Branches talk about. So here is a clip from the behind the scenes interviews from Time War Uncharted Branches, all over the finale. Here it is.
We go next in Uncharted. Tim and I are making plans. We've got an idea of who might appear next. There's a little teaser at the end. See if you can guess who might pop up. And yeah, we're going to round off the story in the next box set, and the Doctor and Alex, back with their own cast once again, will have a final reckoning with the Uncharted. And yeah, maybe not everyone's going to make it through.
So that was a clip from the interviews for All Over from Time War Uncharted Branches, from the behind the scenes of it, just to kind of give you a confirmation, and kind of the Time War Uncharted 4 seems to be the finale, seemingly, but who knows, when we finish they might decide to do another arc, but it's similar to what they're doing with the Eighth Doctor Ventures. The Eighth Doctor has so many companions, you kind of need a murder board to kind of figure it all out with string and all sorts. So yeah, but let me know what you thought of Time War Uncharted Branches if you listened to it. My recap if you didn't. And without further ado, I will see you in the future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.